Right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Against All Odds. And I am so excited today because I am joined by an absolute powerhouse of a lady. Come on, Nicola. Here we go. Gym owner, champion weightlifter, podcaster, commentator, mum, and recently won second place Scotland's Strongest Women. Welcome, Nicola Buchan, to the podcast, mate. I am so happy to have you here. How are you?
I am fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Now, we've known each other for a while, and I was trying to think the other day, how many years has it actually been?
So it's probably, God, what's happened? Sorry, my screen went funny there. Well, I think I've been with Paul for almost 4 years now.
Yeah, same with me.
So yeah, almost 4 years.
4 years. So it's been an incredible 4 years. So obviously I know your journey, but some people that listen to this will not know your journey. So tell me what life was like 4 years ago before any of this happened.
Oh wow. Extremely different. Let's put it that way. So 4 years ago was when I would say I was at my lowest point in life. Like, I had no idea what I wanted, what I was going to do. My husband had decided he didn't want to be with me anymore, which, and I know that happens a lot, but my husband was my best friend. He was my everything. And it was a complete shock. Although in hindsight now, I look back and there was things that happened leading up to the breakup that we probably should have broke up before that. But after we had kind of the hard times, I believed that we were having a really great marriage. So I thought finally we were actually happy. But it turns out I was happy and he was not. And I think, anybody can be in a relationship and pretend that they're happy enough that they almost kid themselves. And I think that's what he did for a long time. So I kind of moved past the stage where I thought we shouldn't be together to then completely falling in love with him again and being obsessed and just this, like my best friend. Like, we'd been together since we'd met when I was 15. We've been together since I was 16. So I knew nothing else.
Yeah, a long time. That was your norm then.
Yeah, he was my, and I honestly, I feel a bit emotional. It's because I'm tired, but I still struggle with that now. Like, he was my best friend. That's the thing I struggle with the most, and still to this day, and that's 4 years on. So yeah, I just didn't know who I was without him.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Like, I was already a PT, I was already a coach, but it was still very much, my focus was on what he wanted and how can I be better for him. And when he left, I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'd never paid bills. He always took control of that. He liked to be in control of all that. I never really paid any bills. I'd never lived on my own, let alone with 2 kids. Like, I just did not know what I was going to do. And obviously your thoughts go through your brain, like, I'm never going to be able to take my kids on holiday. I'm never going to be able to afford to treat them to nice things by myself, like, because my husband always did that. And I thought, I can't do that. And I'd listened to Paul throughout the whole of lockdown. And I changed a lot in lockdown. I think that's played a part in the breakup, to be honest, because I think he was away a lot with work. In fact, he worked the whole of lockdown. And when he came home, I was a bit more positive person. And I was just different and a bit more independent. I was a little bit more independent, where I kind of started putting goals. Like, I want little goals and these things. And I started listening to Paul through lockdown. And then I just one day just couldn't take it anymore. I was like, I can't do this again. Like, I'd been through spouts of depression, and I just looked at my life and I just thought, I can't go back to not wanting to be here. So I can't go back drinking, because I used to do that quite a lot. Like, anything bad happened, I would drink. And I said, I'm joining Paul. And, he had like the 90 days, or like the prime, I think it was called at the time.
Yeah.
And I thought 90 days isn't enough to fucking fix me. So put me on, and 4 years later, here we are. So I'm still with Paul and don't intend on leaving Paul anytime soon. I absolutely love him. I love the support, and I don't really use it that much like I did before, but knowing that you guys are there when I need it, and if you need me, that you know, you're never alone then. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I've felt alone before and it's horrible. And yeah, just pushed myself to start being more independent and achieving things that I wanted to achieve, that
Yeah.
I knew I was good at, and help other people. And like, one of my biggest passions is for nobody to ever feel like I felt. Like, it's
That's
fucking horrific.
powerful. Yeah,
It's
that is
yeah,
powerful.
it's horrific. Like, I didn't want to be here. Like,
Mm.
and I was so lucky that I did have good friends that, you know, I didn't really speak about much, but they knew and they would check up on me. And some people don't have that. Hence the
Yeah.
gym, opening the gym, okay, they might not have anyone, but you've got us at the gym.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
say morning to everybody, say goodbye before I leave the gym every time, just so they know, like, if they're a bit stuck, I might just be that one person that they think, I could probably speak to her.
Yeah.
I could probably have a conversation with her about how I'm feeling. And yeah, that's kind of how I got to where I am, is just pushing myself, because I never believed in me for a long time.
I was about to say it's one of those. Like, I was on a 15-year marriage as well, and when you suddenly find yourself alone, it's like
Yeah.
you don't know who you are,
Yeah.
do you? It's like you kind of finding your feet in the world again.
Yeah.
And you've got not a clue. You're running on fear as well. But I can always remember like a pinnacle moment on a Zoom call with all us ladies,
Mm-hmm.
with Paul Moore. And I know you've said this before,
Yeah.
but he dropped a sentence to you, didn't he? That where a light bulb moment come on. And what was it?
No one's coming to save you, so what are you going to do about it? That was it. I've got goosebumps every time. And anytime I feel down, or, you know, start to kind of get like imposter syndrome, and think I can't do things, and I think, well, nobody's come to save you. So what is it that you fucking want? Do you want this thing? If not, that's okay. But if you fucking want it, you go and get it, and you take it.
It's quite a scary thing though, isn't it? And not everybody, some people will hear that and go, oh no, it's not for me, I'm just going to sit here. But you literally took it on board and ran with it. Yeah. And I'll never forget that day, because there were a few up and down moments before that sentence was dropped.
Oh yeah. There was many. I hold the record for crying on a Zoom call, just saying. But yeah, because I think the good thing was that Paul didn't give me that straight away. He let me moan, he let me complain, he let me say what I needed to say week after week after week. And then I think he seen the potential. So he knew I was ready for it. There has to be the right time. Like, you can't just say that to somebody. Like, some people, like he said, just doesn't work for. I think it can, but at the right time. And he just caught me at the right time. And that was it. It was like somebody, just as quick as somebody flipped my switch through depression and thinking I wasn't good enough and I shouldn't be here. Because that's what it felt like. I remember the very moment that, because I've always been a confidence person, right? I remember the moment I switched to the zombie. That's what I called myself, because that's exactly what I was. No feeling, no emotion, didn't really care. Like, just went about my day like a zombie. Like, didn't have any emotion. I remember that switch, and I remember when it flipped back, and that was the day that Paul said that to me, and that was it. And there's just been no stopping me since then, because I'm just like, I can do anything. Because if I can come back from that, nothing is as bad as that I felt, and I don't think anything ever will be. Like, because no matter how bad things, even if I like lose somebody or that, I know it won't be as bad as that, because I'm in a better state of mind now. Like, then I couldn't cope with anything. Like, any little thing just made me worse and worse and worse. But yeah, that sentence changed my life. Nobody's coming to save you. And it's so true.
Yeah, it's amazing. So when he dropped that sentence, had you got your gym by that point?
No. I'd nothing at that point. Nothing.
So where did the idea come to go, right, I'm going to go and open my own gym?
So I had like a space in my garage that I had been using for personal training.
Right.
Which I was using at the time, and I was gathering more things, and I don't know. I just sat one day. Do you know what? It was after competing in Strong Women, so I had my first competition just before lockdown, and then 6 weeks, and it was a year of lockdown, and then 6 weeks after my husband told me he was leaving me, I had already booked Scotland's Strongest Woman, my first ever Scotland's. I wasn't going to go, but again, another coach that I had at the time said, don't cancel. Are you going to continue to train? Yes. Just train. If you don't want to go the day before or the morning of, don't go. But don't make your mind up right now. And I said, okay, so forget about the comp, just train. Because I was going to train regardless. Like, that's my highest value is training. And I went to Scotland's Strongest Woman, and I was fucked. I was broken. Like, there's a photo of me, and I'll send it to you, with carrying this sandbag, and I kind of sat with it because you can't put it on the floor. It's for distance. So you sat with it, and I've got my head on it, and you can. That was another moment. It's like you can give up now, or you can stand up and take a couple more steps. So
Yeah.
I always look at that photo and I remember how horrible I felt, and like I didn't feel like I deserved to be there. But the atmosphere and the people around me was just. I was these snippets of just pure fucking happiness and energy, and I was like, this is crazy. And it was probably about a week after that. I thought, I wish I could have that all the time. And I just kept thinking, I wish I could have this. And then when Paul said that, it wasn't long after that it was probably a few months, but it wasn't that long after that. More and more competitions I was going to. I got the opportunity to go Britain's Strongest Woman again. Something that was like a 5-year plan was happening in the first year of Strong Women, and then I got to the Arnold's, and then I was just like, people should have this every day.
Yeah. Mm.
People deserve this. My local people deserve to feel like this every single day, to go in and have that kind of energy. So I just decided that I was going to be that energy for other people. And the only way that I could do it through what I was good at and what I was passionate about was through fitness. And I thought, well, I need a space because I can only reach so many people in my garage. So I need a space where they don't have to train with me, but they still get my energy if they see me in the gym. So it was after competing in Strong Women that made me, and it wasn't to have a gym, it was to have a space for a community. That's what it was. But obviously fitness is my thing, so it made sense.
So I know opening like a new business, a new venture, it can be quite scary. But when you said about you're determined that people should never feel like you felt, would you say that has kind of squashed that fear and you've just gone with it because you purely like, right, I don't want people to feel like I did? Is that your driver?
Yeah, because I, look at, like, if you are a very, people that are very good at business, they're very good at numbers and things like that. If they looked in on how I grew my business, they'd be like, that's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I didn't see those risks. I didn't see those. I didn't see it. Some might say naive, and I still am, but I like it like that because I only do things on pure passion, and it will work. I remember going in to see the building that I rent now for my gym, and it used to be a baker's, and a guy was there, and he'd had a few offers, and here's me by myself, no business plan. I'm wanting it as a gym. And he says, right, okay. He says, I've got a lot of people that, there's people want to use it for takeaways, another bakery, blah, blah, blah. Why should I give it to you? I says, because I won't fail.
That's amazing.
And he said, what do you mean? I says, because there's 1 million takeaways and there's 1 million bakers, but there'll only be one NB Fitness the gym, and I will not fail. I says, because this isn't for business. I was like, this needs to be a space where people can come and be better. Yeah. And he says, okay, you can have it. That was it. I didn't need to persuade him anymore. He'd heard enough. He's like, okay, I love it. Let's do it. And that was it. I had no money, no loan, no business plan, nothing. I literally said, how much is the rent? And he said, and I says, okay, that's about 70 members. I can get 70. I know 70 people. That'll do. And then obviously you're like, you need insurance and all that, but it was fine. I made it work.
That's amazing.
And people seen that because I had a shitty little treadmill that barely worked. I had one squat rack. It's quite a decent sized building. It was pretty empty. Like, if I look back now, I'm like, why did people join? There was fuck all there. But they could just see how much I wanted it. And I had an open day, and I put so much effort into it, and little competitions on the day, and that was it. Folks just signed up because they just loved the energy, and that's exactly what I wanted, and that's exactly what I got.
Well, that's amazing, because they were coming for you as well.
Yeah.
Because I honestly believe, if you've seen somebody like on their arse, really struggling, actually going out there and smashing it, people will naturally be drawn to you.
Yeah.
And I spoke about peer groups like with Luke Harrison. We spoke about it with Javino. What is your kind of thought on peer groups? Because I'm from neuroscience background, your environment means everything.
Yeah.
And people, you have such a positive impact on people. So can you see a massive improvement when somebody first joins you to like a few months later, not only just the fitness, their mindset, how they're viewing the future,
Yeah.
and then seeing what you've been able to do, I bet it fires them up as well.
Yeah. So I actually just spoke about this to my sports therapist. So getting my massage, and we're speaking about people and how we help them. And because a lot of jobs, even like sports therapy, coach, PT, whatever, fitness instructor, and beauticians, hairdressers, that we end up being somebody for somebody to talk to, right? We end up being at some level a therapist, because that's that time for that person. And there's one girl that stands out, and her name's Chloe, and I know she won't mind me saying her name, but her name's Chloe, and she was a young girl. She was 18 when she came to me, and I said, "What's your goal?" And I was good at setting like weight loss goals, but I didn't really understand a great thing of goals. But so, what's your goals? I want to lose a bit of weight. I says, okay. I says, but why do you want to lose a bit of weight? I was like, let's really think about these goals, because I find like it helps me more when I really think about it. And she said, I don't want to cry when I go on a night out anymore, when I get dressed.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. Like that was the first client that I'd thought, it's here. She needs fixed here. Like, yes, that's going to make her feel better, but like she could lose the 2 dress sizes and still feel like that. Like it's here. So started obviously working in the gym, working on like lifting and technique, and slowly, obviously, her body was changed, felt more confident, and she actually came to me. She's not a client anymore, but she's a member of my gym. And she applied. She just finished uni. She applied to be a solicitor for one of the jobs, and said, "Oh, how do you get on?" She said, "Yeah, I had to do a little interview, and I had to say who inspired me." And she said, "And I put you." She says, "Because without you, I probably wouldn't have been able to walk in there and have the confidence to do that." And I was like, "Holy fuck!" Like, you don't even realize, like, the impact you're having on people until you hear that. And it's like, all I was doing in my mind was helping her lose a bit of weight. I didn't overthink it too much. I just thought, if I get this girl this goal, she'll maybe feel a bit better. But it's impacted her entire life. Like, she says, I always talk about you when they ask for inspiring people in your life. And I'm like, of all the people she's got in her life, I'm somebody that stood out. Okay, and she's 22 now, and she's thriving. And you can see the difference in her photos on Instagram when she is going nights out, and just her style's changed, and she can just see she's so much more confident, and she's wear what she wants to wear. And I remember when she came in, she says, I went on a night out and there's no more tears. There wasn't any tears. And I was like, yes.
I did. But did you cry when you heard that?
Yeah, I was like, that's the goal. I wasn't really a crier then, to be honest, but I'm more of a crier now. I'm a big softie now, but that she always stands out for me. Like, I just never forget, because she was such a young girl as well, and I was just like, that's wild. Like, how she can even think that about herself. And that's kind of I think that was the start of when I was like, I really, really want to help people feel good. And then it just, through my own experiences, I got more and more passionate about it. But peer group and environment is everything. Like, in even like your house, like, I've been in a foul mood this last week because I'm trying to gut my house out. And honestly, every morning I'm raging because the house is a mess. And just like even that, and that's not even people, that's just things. And as soon as I leave and go to the gym, I'm absolutely fine, because my gym's always tidy, clean, and in order, and everything's in its place. And then I come home, and by like nighttime, I'm like, I need to go to my bed because I can't even look at this mess any longer. But it's so, so important to make sure you're surrounded by not just the right people, but the right things. And, like, if your house has shambles and you feel stressed in your house, it's probably because your house has shambles. Like, and I hate cleaning. Like, with a passion, I will clean the gym, but I hate cleaning my house. I have a cleaner. I hate doing it. I do the bare minimum. And I actually used to be a really good housewife, but things have changed. I do not like that anymore. Fuck that. Like, no way.
We move on to better things, mate. We absolutely do.
Yeah, but your environment is so important. So
yeah,
if anyone's listening to this and you're struggling, that's the first thing you should be looking at, because no matter what you do to change, if you're still surrounded by shit, you're still gonna feel like shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I did a post about it earlier. that I thought might trigger some people. It's like nothing's going to change until you change it.
Yeah, 100%. It's so true. It's very true.
Yeah. It's one of the things. So I did say you're a mum, and you are a fantastic mum, because you're obviously spurring them on as well, because I'm seeing what they're doing. How do you balance work life with being a mum? Because I think a lot of women struggle with that. You know, when they go to open a business, they're like, oh, I need to be a mum, so I'll do it after they've grown up, then I'll have more time.
Yeah.
But we've done it. We've just gone ahead and done it. So in your opinion, how do you balance that where you can keep your shit together and not burn out?
So from a very young age, I have included the kids. That was another reason I wanted to open a gym, is because I always took the kids with me to work, fitness classes, to the gym, and that was okay. Because when I first started, I had this guy I worked with who had his own little personal studio, and that was fine. But then they turned that personal studio into a big commercial gym, and it was no longer allowed to take kids with you. And that was a nightmare for me, especially like working and things like that. Like before I could have taken them, they would have joined in with me and helped the weights, to like not being able to take them, which was really awful. So if you can include them in some of your work activities, because why can't you? Like, who says you can't? It's good for them. Like, my kids will always be able to walk in any gym. Now, a gym's a positive place to be. Any gym with no fear. Zero. Like, the amount of adults I work with, you know, people in their 50s, oh, I couldn't go to the gym. I don't know what to do. I don't feel comfortable. I'm scared. Get it, because you've never been in it. My kids will never be like that, because I've always involved them.
Yeah.
But I still struggle with balance, because I am very ambitious and I like my work, and I like it to be right. So I do still struggle. But I think what I've found is another liner from somebody, from Paul Mark. So Katie Barland said to me, it's not about the quantity of time, it's about the quality of time. Because I was so worried about the amount of time I was spending with the kids. The amount of time. She's like, Nicola, you could be with your kids 24/7 and not actually be present. And I was like, that was me when I was depressed. I was with them all the time, but I never spent any time with them because I was fucking depressed. She says, but when you're with them, you be with them, because they're not going to remember that you were there all the time, but they're going to remember the times that you were present. So I just don't put pressure on myself now. Like, if I've got to work, I've got to work. And if I can involve them. So I started teaching classes again yesterday. I took Jaden with me, and he loved it, and he was getting involved in this, and that was his time with me. And he's like, Mom, that was really fun. And he was going around, and he likes to be in control. He's a bit like me, and he's going around speaking to people, and he's very social. So I involve them. If not, I do my work, and then I make sure the time that I'm with them, I'll get my phone away. You know, we're going to an activity that engages me as well. Because if I'm not engaged in an activity, and that's not even to do with work, that's just how my brain is. I'll be like, I won't be focused. Like, I'll be thinking of something else. ADHD takes over, and you're just like, I'm not bothered. I don't care about football, so I'm not going to do that. But, you know, like hill walking or the cinema, like swimming, I do not go swimming with the kids. Like, I've just stopped now, because I would go and just be miserable, because I fucking hate it. I hate swimming. It's cold, and it's just like, I love ice dipping, but you're like 10 minutes and you're out. Swimming for 50 minutes, no. So I just don't do it with them, because I'm miserable, and they want me to play with them, but I don't want to do it. I don't want my hair wet. I don't want my lashes wet. There's no point me coming. I'm not fun. But let's do something that I do like, that you like, that we can engage and have fun. Like, I love going shopping with my daughter. I love going to get like nails done and stuff like that. And we just have a chat, and we go for lunch. It's about the quality of time you spend with your kids, not the quantity. So if you feel like you want to do something and you're worried it's going to take up time, yes, it is going to take up time. But you get to decide how much time you spend on one thing, and how much time you get to spend with the kids, and what you're going to do with the kids, and just involve them, because it's good for them to see that. It's good for them to see you striving towards your goals, because if your kid said when they've got a child, I want to do this, but I don't think I can do it because I don't want to leave, you'd be like, well, of course you can do it. I'll help you out, and you should do it. And if that's really what you want to do, go for it. So practice what you preach. Lead by example.
I was about to say, that's perfect. Like, lead by example. That's exactly what Kashim said on the last podcast. You know, parents should lead by example, and you are definitely doing that. So you definitely are. Like, literally, I see your social media, and like, you are all over the place, and you're doing exactly what you set out to do. You go,
Yeah.
right, I've never known anybody go, right, I've got this plan, right, I'm going to go and do it.
Yeah.
Like, you literally do what you say you're going to do, and you do it that bloody quick. It's so impressive, mate. It really is.
I don't like fucking about. Like, if it's too long a goal, I get bored. So it has to be like, and the minute I'm finished something, I'm like, what's next? I have to be doing something like all the time. And that's not for any other reason. It's just, I love having a goal. I love it. Like, I'm kind of on that stage right now that I don't have a main goal. I have one fitness goal. I have goals, but you know what I mean? Like, one big fitness goal. And all my energy is going into that right now. That's why I said to you, like, I've got to go and get my meal and things like that, because like, I want to pull a 220 kilo deadlift, and it's going to happen, and it's going to happen within the next 4 to 6 weeks. Because if it doesn't, I'm going to get bored.
Oh, I
Because
love that.
I like things to be exciting, and I think when something takes a long time, you have to keep things coming in and out, keep it exciting, or it just gets boring. You get content, and then you don't grow.
Yeah, and that's it. And then all outside influences come in because you've got bored, and then that's where we end up back at square one.
Exactly.
So do you, with being so busy, do you have like stages where you feel burnt out?
Oh yeah, last week was I was really ill last week, and I was just mentally, that was probably down to just being so busy as well. Like, I obviously run down and then got ill. But last week I felt awful, and I was trying so hard to find energy from somewhere, and I just didn't have any energy. Nothing. I had nothing to give. I was sleeping all the time and having naps, and I would still wake up, and I would like 5 minutes, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I feel better, and then 10 minutes later I'm like, I'm fucked again. Like,
Yeah,
I wouldn't say I experienced burnout. I'm getting much better, but I do get times, and I think that's just because I'm so high all the time. Like, it's just energy, energy, energy. And I think sometimes my body's like, no, no,
yeah,
we're not doing that anymore. So I do try and take it easy on myself and be like, okay, you can just chill out for like a day. It's fine. It's fine.
yeah,
But I do struggle with that, because I'm like, it's not good enough, and you should be better, and blah blah blah. But then I would just remind myself, like, just have a fucking day off, mate. You'll be okay.
yeah, yeah.
Nothing bad's gonna happen having a day off. And then I'm like, okay. So yeah, of course, everybody experiences that when they're so driven, because you need a lot of
Yeah,
energy. It needs to
yeah,
be constant. And like, I have a high expectation of my energy. I'm always like to be positive. I always like to be in high spirits, because I never know what somebody else is going through. And
yeah,
my attitude and my energy can have an impact on that. So if I go in like a miserable arsehole to the gym, and somebody's already having a bad day, I've just made it worse.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know, but so I can either make it worse or make it better. So, but sometimes if I'm on that day where I'm feeling a bit like really don't know where I'm getting that energy from, I just don't go to the gym. I just
yeah,
don't go, because it's my responsibility to be the positive one in the gym. And that's not all the time. Obviously, there's days I go in and I moan, but we hear a laugh about it and try and get like, I'm having a moan, but we're going to keep it high energy. It's funny, like, but I'd never want to go in and just be like, because that's
yeah,
not why I opened it.
yeah. It's that ripple effect again, isn't it? It's like you need to make an
Yeah.
impact on people, because that's what we're about. And I think, you know, when you are living, doing your passion, the energy naturally comes anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We all get a high energy when we're doing something that we massively got a passion and a purpose for. So
Yeah.
that's incredible. It's like you kind of know that you're in line with your values if you've got that much energy.
Oh, definitely. Like I said, my highest value is training. I love it. I absolutely love lifting heavy weights. I love everything about it. I love the warm up. I love the cool down. I love the lifting, even though it kills you, like almost kill. I thought I was going to die today. I was so hot and it was so heavy, and I was just like, I don't think I can do this. And but I did it, and now I'm like, I can't believe I just did that. Like, I never thought I'd be able to do that amount of reps on that amount of weight, and I did do it. But it was awful, and I felt very uncomfortable because I was very hot. But I did it anyway.
You did it. You got right
So
out your comfort zone and you did what you said you're going to do. As always, mate, you
always,
do.
always, because I thrive on that. I love it. I love, like, obviously, we all have this running joke that I'm about self-doubt. Like, I've had this issue with this self-doubt. Like, I just want rid of it. But I doubt myself every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day, I question whether I can do certain things, whether it be lifting, whether it be running a business, whether it be impact somebody today. I question myself every single day. But the things I question myself on that specific day, I always, in the back of my head, go and conquer it. Like, it's just lingering there and I have to do it just to prove myself wrong. Like, I love it. I love proving people wrong and proving mostly myself. So today was the deadlift. Like, there's no way. Like, I didn't sleep well last night. Keep getting cramp in my ass cheek. It's horrific. And I was up all night and I thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to pull that today. The energy was low. And I thought, right, get your music on, get your water, get your tinny, do something to get even a little bit of energy. And then I did another rep and then another rep. And I was like, okay, so his energy's going higher. And then we get a different song on. I just got this. And my pal was there and she took her kids and I was playing with them. And I was like, yeah, we're going to get the energy even higher. Let's come on. And then before I knew it, it was done. And now I'm happy. I've conquered that day. Now tomorrow I'll wake up and there'll be something else. I can't do that today. I don't think I'll manage today. And that'll be my fixation for the day. But right, that is getting done.
Yeah, it's like you need to prove yourself wrong, and that's not a bad mindset to have, mate, because it'll always push you forward.
100%. I would see it as a negative, but my self-doubt has got me so many places. And doubt of others. Like, no matter what you say, you know, if somebody says, if you've got like an overachiever attitude, if somebody says you can't do something, it just makes me laugh because I'm like, you're hilarious. This is funny. This is a funny joke. I'll see you in a fucking month when it's done.
Do you know, I've got the same mindset. I always say to people, never tell me that I can't do something because I will go out and do it.
Yeah, if you really don't want me to do it, just don't say anything.
Yeah.
Don't say anything. But the minute somebody says no, if they say no, I'm like, If I really want it, sometimes I'll think of something and then somebody will say, nah, I don't think you can. I'll be like, nah, I can. I just don't actually want to. Yeah, I've changed my mind. I don't want to do that now. But there'll be some things that folk will say, nah, no. So for a while, Giants Live, they didn't want me as a commentator. It was a no. And not for any particular reason. They just weren't looking for anyone else. Well, it was inevitable because I was going to annoy you until you said yes, because I wanted to do that. And I wanted to be the first female to do it, and it was happening. So you can either keep saying no and get pissed off at me, or you can give me a shot. If you don't like me, fine, I'll leave you alone because I've already done it. I'm fine with that. Or it's going to work really, really well, and it'll be a continuing relationship. And I just annoyed the right people, and they eventually says, okay, fine, we'll give you a trial. And that was it. And I've done several jobs with them now.
Yeah, I was just about to say to you, how did you get into commentating? And you just answered that. You nagged them to death.
Yeah, well, my first ever commentating job was I was emceeing for England's Strongest Man, England's Strongest Woman. It was actually my friend, Will, that said, I've mentioned you for doing commentary. I was like, I don't want to do commentary. I'm an athlete. He's like, yeah, but you can't compete in every competition, Nicola. So you can't compete in England's because obviously I do Scotland's Strongest Woman. I'm from Scotland. You can't do England's. You should do the commentary. It's a good way to be more involved in the sport, which you love, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, oh, whatever. They're going to pay for my hotel and my travel. Fuck it. I'll just go you get into the Fit Expo for free. Fine. Let's go.
Yeah, why not? And
then I did it and I was like, I'm pretty fucking good at this. I'm pretty good at this talking shit. And then everyone gave me lots of compliments and I felt good. And everybody, all the athletes thanked me because I went and found out like personal things about them that I could speak about. So there was one girl that had just recovered from like a stroke. And I was like, this girl's just recovered from a stroke. This is absolutely amazing. Wow. Like really emphasize like their strong points out with the sport. And they loved it. And I was like, okay, I'll do some more of this. And then did more competitions, more. And then I was just like, yeah, I need to do something bigger. Like, and then I realized, then they asked me to come and do the Europeans, and I was the first female to do the live commentary. Not the first, they'd had an MC, but never on the commentary. So I was the first female, and I was like, it's quite a big deal, that. Like, I didn't realize it at the time. I was like, that's quite a big deal, being the first female to do that. Like, that's pretty cool. And I knew a lot of the girls and a lot of their families that had watched it at home said, oh, that girl was really, really nice. She said lots of lovely things about you. And so it's got lots of comments. And then I was like, maybe I could do it for like the big guys too, because I know all of them and I love all of them. And I think it's more to them than people think as well. And I want to be the person to be able to do that. And then, yeah, I just annoyed them enough to
I love
to say, okay, I just said, let me come to Glasgow. Like, I'm from Scotland. It makes sense. And they said, and it was like exactly a year before I watched the show, and I said to my friend, this will be the last time I queue for a Giants Live. And she says, what do you mean? I said, it'll be the first and last time. I said, because I'll be working with them, doing whatever, I don't know yet. But I want to work with them. I want to be in that team somehow. And it happened. And it was the next year I was in Glasgow working, and I've done every show with them since then. So
that's amazing. I just love how you just come out and say it, and then it's like it powers you on to go, actually, now I've said it, I've got to go and do it.
yeah, well, just because in my mind, it's already happened.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like,
yeah, I'm so good at visualization. Like, I don't even try. It's not something I've really practiced. It's kind of quite natural. So the thing with Eddie Hall, I already felt like it had happened. Like, I already believed that I've experienced this, and then it happened, and I was like, okay, this is cool because this is actually happening now, not just in my brain. But like, if I decide something or like I visualize something, I can feel it, and I'm like, I know how I'm going to feel, and it's like it's already happened. Like, if somebody asked me to tell them, right, pretend that that's happened, I could give you every feeling, every emotion, because I've just can see it. I can see it's happened. I already know it's going to happen. So I'm preparing myself for it. It's not even a case of if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen.
That's really powerful, mate. That is really, really powerful. So who is your inspiration? I know you mentioned Eddie there. Is it Eddie?
Eddie's an inspiration for me in he's the same age as me. He's very, very successful. And he was a big influence on me lifting in the gym. So obviously Eddie Hall, for anyone that doesn't know who he is, he was the first man to ever pull 500 kilos on the deadlift, which is massive. It was like 37.5 kilos over the current world record. Like, you know, people are going to beat his world record. It's going to happen, but it's going to be maybe 5 kilos, 10 kilos. This was 37.5 kilos over. That's a person, what the current weight was. And it was, everyone said he couldn't do it. Everyone, nobody believed in him, no one. But he had just believed it could. And when I remember watching that, and that was like the first time I thought, I wonder if I could do something like that. Like, I wonder if I could pick up big weights. And that started that journey for me. But I'd say my biggest inspiration, who would be my biggest inspiration? Oh gosh. Probably the people that I see every day.
Yeah.
Because I see them struggle. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the people that push me. Normal people. Normal, like, obviously Eddie Hall is a normal person. We're all normal people. You know, but we see people at Eddie Hall and things like that, and we see them on the TV. It's almost like they're not real until you meet them. You're like, holy shit, you're real. But it's you know, like, I've got a client, Elizabeth, that was the girl that was in with me today. She takes her 2 kids in. She works a full-time job. Her husband works away. She's got 3 kids. And she still shows up every day and gives it her best. Like, she inspires me. I've got my friend Melissa, who, you know, does about 1 million businesses, and she's always positive and always happy and shows up, no matter what's going on, and she's always there for her friends. Like, that's the people that inspire me. And just so many different people in my gym with different jobs and different challenges, and they turn up and they fucking get it done, and they're there for other people. And I just watch them and I just think, that's the people that I want to be better for, because if I'm better, they're better. So I wouldn't say there's lots of, you know, big names out there that inspire me, of course, but it's the people I see and talk to every day. That's the people that drive me to want to make the gym better, to be a better coach, to be a better person, to be stronger, to be better with my food. Because I'm like, well, if I do it, then I can provide them with the knowledge to be better too.
Yeah.
They're the people that inspire me the most. Just people that I spend my time with.
That's amazing. So over this amazing 4-year journey, mate, what has been your proudest moment out of everything that you've done? Because you've been absolutely everywhere and done everything, but what is the one thing where you can stand there and go, yeah, I'm really fucking proud I've done
that? When I took the kids on holiday. We stood in the Gibraltar caves, you know, where they've got all the lights and things. And I stood there, because obviously when my husband left, I thought, there's no way I'm ever taking the kids on holiday. I'll never be able to. And I stood there, and Chloe was in front, and Jane, I was behind row, and the kids were in front. and they were looking, and they just both looked and went, "This is the best day ever." And I just thought, I fucking did it.
Yeah.
Fucking did it. Like, it's fucking hard getting money together as a couple, let alone like by yourself and growing a business and things like that. And it's fucking hard work, you know, when you're trying to be everything. And that was the only thing I wanted to be able to do. But that is my biggest achievement to this date, is saving enough money to take them away. I was fucking, yes, I did it. I did it. I worked fucking my ass off for that. 18-hour days. That's my proudest moment in over the last 4 years. Like, you can forget everything else. Like, I'm super proud of all that, but that was the one thing I never, ever, ever seen happening. I didn't think I would ever be able to do it, and I did it. And that was my proudest moment.
That shows what kind of person you are, and that shows why you inspire me, because you've done all these amazing things. But when I've asked you what your proudest moment was, you took it straight back to your kids and a memory with them.
Yeah.
And that just shows, and I hope everybody listening to this podcast just shows what kind of person you are. And that's why I love you, and that's why I've invited you on here, because you are absolutely inspirational.
Oh, thank you.
So I have been asking everybody on this podcast one question that Trevino keeps asking everybody, and I batted it back to him and stumped him with it straight away on the podcast.
I love it. Yes.
You know me, mate, don't mess about. So Nicola, tell me 3 good things about yourself.
All right, okay. Oh, Christ. Oh. Now, this is a difficult one for me. This it makes me a bit uncomfortable. Trying to think what I've put in my journal recently about myself. Yeah, that does stump you, because
it stumps everybody.
It does, because you always constantly try to help other people, so you don't really think. My determination, 100%, is one of my favorite things about me, because like you said, like, if I decide I'm passionate about something and I want it, it's gonna get done. Whether that be for myself, whether that be for someone else. And I think that's been installed in me a lot longer than I think.
Yeah.
Because before my, my kind of first spell of depression, I'd run an ultramarathon. Now, I didn't think that was a big deal then. Like, but now I look back, I'm like, I didn't do that for anything else but charity. Like, I did that for charity. I wasn't even in my mind as a personal goal. Like, I don't even like running, but that's why I did it. So my determination is one of my favorite things about myself. My honesty, because I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm going to fucking tell you, and it comes from a place of love. Like, it's not because I'm being an arsehole. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, if I think you can do better, you can do better. If I think that you're making a mistake in something, I'll fucking tell you. Like, you're going to get told, and it might be brutal, but you'll thank me one day. Yeah. And I'm okay with that. Like, I don't get offended. Like, if you don't want to speak to me anymore, I'm okay with that. But I'll be here when you want to come back and say you were right, because I am. Like, I'm telling you because I care about you. And the last thing is that I don't care what people think. That is like massive, because a lot of people don't do things because they worry, and I have just it's never really crossed my mind to care about what anybody thinks of me, because it just hasn't. Like, it's like I spoke to Luke from, what's his surname again? Good hair, good looking.
Luke Harrison.
That's it. I spoke to him, and he asked me what my superpower was, and I said that it was not giving a fuck about what anybody else thinks, because I just never have. I've really never ever. It doesn't cross my mind to, oh well, what if they think think that's not a good idea, or what if that upsets them, or whatever. If I want it and it's not going to harm anyone, if it annoys someone else, it's not my problem.
Yeah, right? I love that. Yeah.
So my determination, my honesty, and my not giving a crap what people think. That's probably the 3 things that got me to where I want to be.
Right. So one piece of advice. So for women listening that have gone through a breakup, lost the confidence on their arse, what's one bit of advice that you would give to them to kind of pull them out of that? Because it's not easy, you know.
No,
and I often think, people need to hear from people that have been through it, and I think that's the power of that. So what would you advise, one piece of advice that you wish you'd have learned when you broke up?
I think the first place to start would be asking what you want. What is it that you want? What do you want? Because as moms, partners, male or female, we are constantly, what do the kids want to do? What's the husband want to do? What does my friends want to do? What do you want?
Yeah.
Because nobody ever asked me what I wanted.
Yeah.
Nobody asked me. I have always worried about other people and what they wanted, and nobody fucking asked me what I wanted.
Yeah.
But I can't blame other people because I never asked myself that question either.
And that's it, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I never asked myself that question. It's my responsibility. It's not anyone else's. They're just worrying about themselves.
Yeah.
Which is what I should have been doing the whole time. And that doesn't mean that you don't care about other people or that you're not putting their interest in their, working with them as a team. But if you are not happy, guess what? No one else is going to be happy. And that was pretty clear. Why my husband left is because I didn't even know who I was. I didn't even like myself. So how can anybody else like me? And that I might think that didn't show or that didn't come across, but people are not stupid. People feel that energy from you. And you just got to say to yourself, right, what is it that I want? And fucking go and get it.
Yeah.
That's
it. And it sounds quite harsh, but it's so true.
It's so true. Like if I didn't do that, then I wouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
Like if I kept worrying about other people, what they wanted and what everybody else wanted and not what I wanted and didn't find myself, I would not be here. I wouldn't be alive because I wouldn't have been able to take it anymore. You need to find what you want.
Yeah.
What do you want? Like, it's like I always say that, and it's like that scene from Notebook when he's like, what do you want? And she's like, I don't know. He's like, what do you want? And it's like, that's what you need to say to yourself in the mirror. What do you want? Watch that film and let Ryan say it to you. What do you want?
Yeah, exactly that way.
Fuck, what is it? What do I want? I want a gym. Right, go and fucking get one then. I want to do this. I want to, whatever it is. Doesn't matter how big, how small, just what do you want?
Yeah.
And if it's I want to be happy, because a lot of people say that, I want to be happy. Okay, that's a start. What makes you happy?
I'm happy now. So that's feeling now what's going to get you there.
Yeah. Okay. So what makes you happy?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I like walking. Okay. So maybe you can set some goals around walking.
Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't need to be massive. It's just got to be little steps towards whatever you want to happen.
Yeah. Exactly. Like my only goal right now, like big goal, like I said, I've got all these little goals in place, is I want to pull 220 kilos. That's it. And that's not a big goal. That's a personal goal. Nobody else cares. That's what I want because I've been wanting it for a long time and I haven't really felt like I've had the time to completely dedicate myself just to that one thing. So I've kind of dropped all my other big goals. They can wait. That's what I want. I want to say that I've pulled 220 kilos off the floor. That's all I want. And people will think that's really that if you don't lift, that's not going to be a big thing for you. But it doesn't matter. That's my thing. Your thing might be something else. That's okay. It doesn't have to be the same as anyone else. But what do you want?
I'm looking forward to see the social media post when you've done that. What did you say, Paul?
I'll be fucking on for about a week. Like, that's just a replay of 220. Let's go. I can't wait for that. And in my gym as well. That's very important because all my big lifts I've done before have been in competition. And I want it in the gym. I want it in my gym, surrounded by my friends, and just it doesn't even have to have people there actually, just in my gym where I can just be like, I've just pulled 220 in my gym. Like that's all my big lifts have always been in competition because that's just usually how it happens. So it's much easier to pull a big lift like that in competition because you've got so much energy and adrenaline.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
To be in the gym in your normal surrounding, that to me is like that's a pinnacle. Like I've built my body to be able to pull this weight and it's not come from anyone else but me.
Yeah.
That's what I want. That's my goal for this quarter.
So like looking forward to that year, what have you got like commentating? Are you taking part in any more like strong women competitions? What's on the cards for you over the next 12 months?
So this weekend I'm going to Ireland to commentate for the world record breakers for official strongman. So I'll be on that this weekend. Next weekend, me and Jaden are climbing up Ben Nevis because he's doing that for charity. for a local cancer charity. So that's another very proud moment, as he's been working really, really hard to do that. And that was off the back of like some charity events I've done in the past that he wanted to do something. So very proud of him for that. He's been working really hard. And then, yeah, we're back doing some more Giants Live. I've got England's Strongest Man, England's Strongest Woman in Manchester. So yeah, lots of traveling around Britain and things like that. I did consider going over to World's Strongest Man, but I've decided not to go because I want to pull my 220 deadlift, and that'll put a kind of stunt on that, and other reasons as well. But I've opted to do a lot of voluntary work in prisons the next couple of months as well. So
yeah,
I've got my name down to go and travel to different prisons to help with people in the gym, but based around mindset and things like that as well. Give them a better focus for when they leave, and hopefully when they do leave prison, they put themselves maybe in a gym environment that's maybe slightly better than what they've been in recently, and obviously got them into trouble. So that's like my main things I'm doing right now is commentary, lifting heavy shit, coaching, and doing some more voluntary work, because that's like a big passion of mine, is helping people, obviously.
That's amazing.
I want to do that.
Lastly, where can people find you online? So give me your podcast. Obviously, we'll put all the links up to this as well. But with your gym, are you online as well?
Yeah, I'm on. I do online coaching, and it's mainly online coaching that I do. But I obviously see a lot of my local people in the gym, which is great, which I love. And I've got a little group session and classes and things like that. But yeah, best place to find me for content, if you want just to get a laugh and be inspired, is Instagram _NB coaching. That's my main platform. I have also got TikTok. I'm not very good at using it, but it is there. I forget. I put it on Instagram. I'm like, yes, it's on Instagram, and then I forget. I'm like, oh shit. I've got my YouTube, which is NBTV on YouTube, which is quite new, but every time I go away, I'm going to plan on filming. Every time I'm away, it won't be like a weekly thing. It'll just be when I'm traveling to show people what I'm doing. And then the podcast is Tinny Talk, and it's on Spotify and iTunes or whatever you call it. So yeah, you can listen to that. There's a good lot of material on there now, and I've actually another goal. I've just got myself a little studio, so I'm doing that up right now. So when I get that, there'll be more YouTubes, more podcasts. So that's one of my main goals this year as well, is to keep going with that every week, releasing one every week, which I've done since Christmas. So you've got a good lot of listening to get through on there. With some great guests on as well, so that's good.
Well, my lovely, it's been absolutely fantastic talking to you. I'm so honoured to know you, mate, and I know you're going to smash this year as well.
Of course we will. All of us will. I love it.
All of us will, there to back each other up. But your story, like I say, we're in a big group of women in a peer group, and you are one that stands out for me, because like literally I struggle to keep up with you, and I'm just like, how is she doing this? Like, she's literally saying and she's off. It's amazing.
Thank you.
So thank you for being an inspiration to me as well, my lovely.
Thank you. No, thank you for having me on.
See ya. Bye.